Hi everybody, Norman Van Aken here. It's been a little bit since I've done a treasure book, but better late than never. And this is a classic one. This is a fun one. This is by a person that I think has a great imagination and has brought a whole lot to the American culinary history. Cindy Pawlcyn. I first met Cindy at a party at the winemaker Bruce Nyers with his wife Barbara, and it was an amazing party. A lot of the major players of the California food movement were at this party. Bruce and Barbara, extraordinary hosts, and Cindy was one of them. And I believe she's from the Midwest, like I am originally from, even though people naturally associate me with Florida. Well, Cindy, she went the other way. She went to Napa Valley, and she created, with some partners, perhaps the most popular restaurant of its era when they first opened. This Mustard's Grill is the name of it. Maybe you've been there. And she did a book on the Mustard's Grill before she did the book that we're talking about today. And this is the book we're talking about today. Cindy Pawlcyn, Big Small Plates. This is a fun book. Cindy is immensely talented and technically spot on, but she loves to have fun. She has this insouciance about her that I find very attractive, and I feel that that's the kind of food I want to cook, and that's the kind of food I want to present, that's the kind of food I want to have with my friends and the guests who come to the restaurant. And I've used this book for many ideas that we've done over the years. A person who loves to cook, but not necessarily be looking at like it's going to be a 3-day affair kind of cooking, even though she can do that. But mustards, and then her also extremely popular Fog City Diner, which was very inspirational. Cindy's Back Street. I don't know exactly what she's up to in Napa right now today. I'm seeing that she got some great endorsements here from Jacques Pepin, the man. Tracy Desjardins, and she's fantastic. Oh my gosh, Jim Harrison. Jim Harrison is one of the great, well, he's in heaven now, probably hunting and fishing and writing poems, but Jim Harrison I got to know in Key West. That's strong, that's really strong. And Robert Mondavi, and tremendous. It's a heavy book for its size. It's got some heft. And that usually means that there's a ton of photography in it, and that's the case. But let's get into a couple specifics before we're too late. She's got her chefs here, Erasto, Pablo, who I've met. Okay, so we're gonna get into the table of contents very quickly. First edition, and it came out in 2006. Happy 20th anniversary, Cindy. I still love this book. See, it doesn't have to be a book that you bought this year to still be inspiring. And it's inspiring. Chapter 1, Sticks, Picks, and with Fingers. I'm remembering now that one of the guys that cooked with me at Louis' Backyard in Key West came from Fog City Diner and working with Cindy, and he was really talented. Mustard's famous onion rings. I love onion rings. And she asks the question in the area where the recipe appears. Boy, did I get grief having left this recipe out of the Mustard's Grill cookbook. Who would have thought that people would actually want to make onion rings at home? Well, once you do, you will want to make them regularly because you put them on top of a steak, and I'm pretty sure that most people are going to say, I want to make those onion rings with you because I think they're better than the steak. And they're great. Onion rings are great. I have some in one of our books, but this is about her book. Okay, she's got in her chapter here, are we still in chapter 1? I guess we are. Mushu pork burritos with mandarin pancakes. Okay. Huge topic, fusion cuisine. I was the one that delivered the speech and made that phrase that went out into the food world atmosphere and remains there today. There are essentially two definitions of fusion cuisine. The more thought about one, the more talked about one, is when you take something from one culture and you marry it to another culture. You create this hyphenation of power. It's a wedding. It's an embrace. And here she has done that version of what I would call fusion cuisine, where she takes burritos and she stuffs them with mushu pork. I'm sorry, yeah, mushu pork. I almost said duck. In the gifted or the skilled person's hands, you don't have to necessarily be gifted, but the skilled person's, the conscientious person hands, that's the kind of fusion that's delicious, and it makes great sense. Chapter 2, salads, but she titles it dressed, not naked. The humor comes through. Pablo's Cocktail de Camarones, that got my attention. I'm like, okay, shrimp cocktail. We'll see what this little treasure is. Shrimp cocktail. What can they be doing that makes that stand out? Well, she says there's several unexpected ingredients in our cocktail sauce. For instance, ginger, jalapeno, and daikon. That surprised me. For example, and they all help lift this sauce to a higher realm. And there's a beautiful full-page photograph, so you can take a look and get hungry with me. So let's see what fell out of here. What menu is this? It is some place called La Gloria, and it's in San Antonio, Texas. And it's a very classic Mexican menu, street foods of Mexico. That's what happens with my books. I'm traveling, going somewhere, we're looking, do an event, and then I'll go somewhere and go, okay, well, this is the book that I took with me on the plane, so that gets stuffed in there. And I can see there's something else sticking out of this book. Ah, yes. This is from a restaurant that I did with Justin, my son, and some others down in Key West, called the Wreckers Bar and Grill. I'm gonna let you just take a gander at that for a second, in case anybody wants to take a screenshot and see what we are doing. This menu is dated from 2007. As I said, this book came out in 2006. Odds are pretty strong, I would say, considering how much I like the book, that I used this book to be inspired for this casual kind of gastropub, Key West style gastropub that we did in Key West back in 2007. Anyhow, folks, I just want to give a shout out to my friend Cindy. She's still doing great, I know. And her book, the book she did with her team. It's solid. It's just absolutely a solid book. And as I say often when I'm doing my treasure book series, you can find these online from various sites. You can find them at a used bookstore if you're really lucky. Thrift books is a solid one for me. When I go looking, if I can't find one at a used bookstore, thrift books, I can almost always find them. And you're going to be able to get this book for about the same amount of money as you could probably get a good plate of enchiladas. I doubt that the plate of enchiladas will taste as well as Cindy could make for you, but hey. Anyhow, I'm Norman Van Aken, and I just want to give a shout out to Cindy and big, small plates. Talk to you soon. Take care.